For the beautiful recitations, respectively, of each of the holy scriptures of the Abrahamic tradition and faith. So in a few minutes, a Twitter feed will be posted on both of the projection screens, and the hashtag is UMB Interfaith. So when one of our amazing speakers drops a gem or a pearl that you really like, please put it up on Twitter, hashtag UMB Interfaith. It's so you guys can get interactive, and it's kind of a new idea that's come. We're going to constantly UMB into faith, yes, and it's very interactive, and it's going to keep. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's kind of so you stay in touch, and the speakers. And it's going to be very. I hope you guys enjoy it. But so in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, the blessings of diversity and the test of unity. For we all face, whether it's within ourselves, among others, between different faiths, and within our own, among brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters. We all have different ways of life, passions, and goals. In the landscape of faith, we often find triumphalism at its forefront, the notion that one's religion should prevail over all and above the rest. Little do we realize that faith is an internal struggle, fighting our desires, temptations, applying universal ethics and morals, and loving each other, face value, regardless of race, class, gender, and sexuality. In this internal struggle lays our ultimate success. Each and every one of you today, just by attending, has shown his or her humanity, now upright, wise, and in utmost sincerity, expanding your mind to all the colors of mankind. That we as individuals chose not the path of ignorance or arrogance, but a path of knowledge and fulfillment. To accept others beyond simply toleration, but to rise and say, I refuse to follow in the footsteps of those who came before me that persecuted, hated, excluded, or ostracized. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our panel for tonight will not be an easy task, but it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make for the general will. Seated to my right are credentials, degrees, years and years of experience, wisdom, just for men beards, but more than all, character and charisma, professionalism and etiquette, versatility and knowledge. Our first speaker, Imam Dr. Talal Eid, is the founder and the executive director of the Islamic Institute of Boston, serving the Muslim community at large. He is also the Muslim chaplain at Brandeis University of Waltham, the Massachusetts General Hospital, and the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. He is the adjunct professor of the Arts of Ministry at Hartford Seminary. Imam Eid is a prominent Muslim scholar, theologian, activist, and lecturer on Islams and Muslims, and on Christian, Jewish, and Muslim relations in North America around the globe. He's traveled across the world as a U.S. representative of the State Department appointed by George W. Bush in 2007. He served as a commissioner on the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom for 4 years. Dr. Eid is a consultant, specialist, and expert on Islamic law, including issues of youth, Islamic will and inheritance, marriage, marital dispute and conflict, divorce, and child custody. He has a degree in Islamic law from Al-Azhar University of Cairo, Egypt, and attained his doctorate of theology from Harvard Divinity School. A warm and gracious welcome, ladies and gents, Imam Talal Eid.
I don't know why he kept talking about me like that. He forgot to tell you that he's my son. I taught him to speak. But anyway, we have 10 minutes, so I have to go by the time. And in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, peace and blessings of God be upon all of us today as we gather in celebration of our differences and our diversity within the unity as a family of God, the creator of mankind. To start quick, I'm going to start, bring to your attention this verse from the Quran. This verse is from chapter number 30, and it's part of a verse, that's the verse number 22, and it says, وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ. So according to this verse, it says that Muslims, or it's telling the Muslims to kill the idol worshippers whenever they happen to find them. It's scary, right? It is scary. And a good number of non-Muslims, they almost memorize this verse. And they talk about it. And they say Muslims cannot have or enjoy the blessings of diversity. And they chop some verses from the Quran and they bring it to bring into the attention of people that Muslims believe only in Muslims. Well, let me now bring to your attention the beauty of the blessings of diversity mentioned in the Quran. And this small verse can be found in chapter Ar-Rum, and it is the chapter number 30 and the verse number 22. And it says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْعَالِمِينَ. So it says, one of the great miracles of God is the diversity of your languages and the differences of your colors. There are great signs for those who have knowledge. That's the blessings of diversity that the Quran spoke about. And let me now take you a little bit to Medina. Medina is a city where Islam was established. The first city was Mecca, but Medina is the city where the Prophet Muhammad migrated. And there, he was chosen by the people to lead them. And we want to understand now how the Prophet Muhammad managed to lead a diverse community that has Muslims, atheists, Jews, Christians, all together. So, you know, what we hear today, we hear too much about Sharia law and Muslims, they need to rule non-Muslims by Sharia law. When you look at the time of how the Prophet Muhammad managed to rule all these people and bring happiness to their life, you will find that he did not do it through what we call Sharia law. He established a special constitution. And those who are interested to find out more, just put Medina Charter. Just Google, and you can read. You don't need to go too much because you will find too many sites, but go to Wikipedia and go over this term and try to understand how the Prophet Muhammad established this constitution so that non-Muslims will enjoy the beauty of their faith. And this constitution of what we call of Medina, or the Charter of Medina, it was written shortly after the migration of the Prophet Muhammad, and that was in the year 622, according to many historians. And it constituted a formal agreement between the Prophet Muhammad and all of the different communities that lived there, including Muslims, Jews, Christians, and atheists. The document was drawn up with the explicit concern of bringing to an end the bitter inter-tribal fighting between two major tribes known as the Aus and Khazraj. And to this effect, it instituted a number of rights and responsibilities for the Muslim, Jewish, Christian, and atheist communities of Medina, bringing them within the fold of one ummah. That is, one community. And imagine how the Prophet Muhammad considered non-Muslims as part of the ummah. Not as we understand today. Non-Muslims hear the word, the ummah, and they understand as, oh, those are the Muslims, how they exist together and do not allow others to share the beauty of life. But you can see clearly here how the Prophet Muhammad wanted to have the blessings of diversity through a special constitution that he himself drafted for the welfare of Muslims and non-Muslims. For the Muslims, they go by Sharia law, and they were never forced to accept it. And for non-Muslims, then they go with what we call the Charter of Medina. Now, I want also to bring to your attention that not as some may say that non-Muslims are considered as infidels, and some may say that, oh, the Jews and Christians are infidels. You will be surprised to find this verse from the Quran, where, and this is in chapter number 3, and the verse number 62. Now it says, لَيْسُوا سَوَاءً مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ أُمَّةٌ قَائِمَةٌ. So to save with the time, I'll go to the translation. He said, they are not equal, Muslims and non-Muslims here. And it says, of the people of the book, there is a stand-up nation. They recite the verses of the Creator throughout the night and the day, and they prostrate to God. They believe in God. They believe in the day of judgment, and they promote goodness. They discourage the indecency, and they hasten, they compete in doing goodness. So you find here, so that's the blessings of diversity that you can find in the Quran, and how Muslims also look at non-Muslims. And there are many verses, maybe I want to open your appetite and search more about Muslims and non-Muslims, and understand that for Muslims it is important that they share the beauty of this creation with non-Muslims as well, not just for themselves. Now, there is something here to say, yeah, but how the Quran would bring a closeness between Muslims and non-Muslims. And here is a verse from chapter number 4, it's Al-Ma'idah, and this verse is number 5. It says, وَطَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ حِلٌّ لَكُمْ وَطَعَامُهُمْ حِلٌّ وَطَعَامُكُمْ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ. It says, the food of the people of the book is lawful to you, and your food is lawful for the people of the book. The people of the book are Christians and Jews. So you find here that there is a beautiful term was given to them. So when someone would say that Christians and Jews are infidels, that's not correct, because infidels is a term was established during the time of the Crusades, but for the term people of the book, it indicates that they are people of a godly faith. And it says here that the food of the people of the book is lawful to you, and your food is lawful to them. Now, when we speak of food, what do we mean? What do you mean when we break bread together? Is to understand, is to work through the food to understand each other and make sure that, as the Quran stated, وَلِكُلٍّ وِجْهَةٌ هُوَ مُوَلِّيهَا فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. Each group has a direction, a goal to establish, and therefore compete in goodness. That's how the Quran instructed the Muslims, and that's the Islamic views of the blessings of diversity and the importance of understanding one another. Thank you.